Samurai champloo.
Hello, welcome back to my channel. How y'all doing? If y'all are new here, my name is Jasmine, aka Sir Gemini. Nice to meet ya. Now, this video is going to be about my story that I have been working on since freshman year of high school. I have put in a lot of time on this one right here, okay? I'm also going to explain why this story is no longer going to be a comic. Hold on, don't jump me. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me explain. Now, for the majority of y'all, I know y'all have no idea what the I'm talking about. So let me quick give y'all the rundown of what the heck even any of this is. So the story follows my main character, Shakana, we love her. As she travels to an entirely new world named the Lushlands, she realizes that her family is secretly this big royalty military family, and her grandmother is basically the head boss of everything. And Shakana is the one who is basically taking her place, but Shakana knows nothing about anything. So she's basically learning all about magic and everything so that she can take the spot of her grandmother in the future. It's more in depth than that, but like that's the cliff note basic like information that y'all gotta know. The story has a lot of characters, it has a lot of dynamics, it has a lot going on. Just like imagine if Avatar The Last Airbender met My Hero Academia and they both had a love child with Samurai Champloo. And also Studio Ghibli like babysits on the weekends, you know? Like it's all of that together, you know? And the main reason that the story is called The Lost Supreme is because Shakana isn't technically supposed to be the next one in line. It's supposed to be her mother, but her mother completely renounced the entire like royalty thing. That's why Shakana doesn't know anything about it, because Shakana was completely raised away from everything. So she knows nothing about it because her mother denounced everything. So that's like one of the biggest mysteries in the story as to why like her mother didn't take her rightful place as the next Supreme. So that's why the story is called, you know, The Lost Supreme. You get it? You get the dots are connecting? So the speed paint itself is of Shakana and her grandmother. So that's what y'all are watching me draw right now. Like a little poster moment, you know. But yeah, here's the main reason why I don't feel like I'm going to continue the comic series. It's because the story was never meant to be a comic. Whenever I was creating this, I always imagined it being a animation. It's not going to have the full potential of what I know it could have if it just ends up being a comic. I can feel myself not being all the way into it because I know what the potential of this could be, and I know that like me just drawing out the poses and stuff like that, it's not going to hit the same, it's not gonna have the same spices to it. Like I want it flavorful, y'all just I'm not gonna cut corners and downgrade my story just so I can get it out to the world as quick as possible. That's not what's gonna happen here. I'd be damned, okay? I've worked too hard and I have too much love for this story for me to not see it in its full potential. I don't know how or when it's going to be animated. I don't know what company I'm going to have to ask to try and do this, but I know that it will happen and I'm not going to cut corners. I'm just going to have to be patient. I'm going to keep drawing my characters. I'm going to keep adding to their story and stuff like that, but it's not going to be a comic. It's just not. Complete side note, the line work of me doing like the speed paint got corrupted. So luckily enough though, Procreate is a real one. They already like screen record you drawing anyway. So I just added that clip into the speed paint so like, you don't miss anything, but like it's just the format is going to be a little bit different compared to like what the other, yeah. So yeah, that's the explanation as to why the comic kind of fell off. You know, I'm still going to be posting like skits and stuff of my characters, them doing like goofy, but yeah, you know, I'm gonna try my best to get this animated in some kind of way. I don't know what I gotta do, but I'm gonna do some research and I'm gonna figure it out, best believe. But yeah, I'm gonna head on now. I'm gonna let y'all like finish the speed paint, listen to the music in the background, and like just watch the progress of how I'm drawing.